All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday, August 8th. Thank you for joining us here on the Grassroots Resistance Collective.
You're watching Grassroots Resistance Collective. Texas grown, people powered, and unapologetically bold. We expose corruption, amplify real candidates, and give voters the truth the system tries to bury. No spin, no sellouts, just resistance. Let's get to work.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm here with my co-host Jennifer and Chastity, and we are here with our special guest today. We have Megan Tesseldar. We are going to be talking to her today. She had a short run for governor. We're going to have her give her story to us to let her know. But yeah, welcome everybody. How you doing, Jen?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Great. Doing good.
What's up, Chas?
Hot. It's hot in here.
Oh my God. Is everybody under a heat advisory across the entire state?
Yeah.
It's so gross.
Okay.
Yeah, 104 here.
Lovely. We hit 101 today.
I don't go outside, so I don't see what the temperature is like outside. But I'm like, in my home, it is 73 and it's set to 70, so I'm not happy.
Oh no.
That's cool. Hey, Jen, would you want to go ahead and start us off?
Yes, definitely. So, guys, we are talking to Megan Tesseldar today. She had a run for governor as a progressive candidate here in Texas, and she is not currently running. She's going to tell us about that later. But her other job titles are mom, teacher, and advocate. She established a nonprofit called Love Over Labels. It is an autism support and advocacy group. So we just want to get to know Megan today and get to know the ins and outs of the election process here in Texas. And we want to know a lot more about Megan and how she's going to continue to fight for Texans.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions y'all may have.
Perfect. So Megan, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your background and then why you decided to run?
Yeah, so my background, I've been in public education for about, I think you lose track at some point. Literally, like the day I turned 18, I started working at the YMCA after school program, and I just never went back. So I say, you'll hear me say anywhere between 10 and 15 years, but I've been in public education for forever, worked from site all the way up to state levels, doing curriculum, and public education has always been my passion. But it'll be 7 years exactly today. Today's my daughter's birthday. 7 years ago today. I know so if you hear any loud noises, the balloons have been popping all day and it sounds like gunfire in my home. It's traumatizing, but it's just balloons. But yeah, 7 years ago my daughter was born. And 5 years ago she was diagnosed with autism, and so she is autistic and non-speaking. And that is really what fueled me to start my nonprofit. And after about a year and a half of doing the nonprofit, I'm the kind of person that always feels like I have to keep going. I have to keep going. Like I'll achieve a goal and then I'm like, I need to do something bigger because it never feels like I'm changing the world enough. And I think for me, that's what the governor's run was I'm like, I can't keep doing local. I can't keep doing small. And one day I was just like, F it. Like I'm going to the top. And I just decided that I was going to make that run because I've seen so many people do the same exact thing, but then they get there and they don't have regular people's interests at heart. So I was like, if they can do it, why can't I do it? And I had a wild month and a half of running, launching a campaign, figuring all that out, and the crash of it, which we'll talk about more, but that's kind of how the whole thing happened. It's been like honestly a crazy summer, I would say.
So basically being a mom and a teacher, not only a teacher, but a special education teacher wasn't just all time consuming and soul consuming enough. We decided to get into politics.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, it was on my summer break. So I was like, you know what? I've got a little downtime. Like, let me just start this gubernatorial campaign and ramp it up. Within, I think, 3 weeks, I traveled to multiple cities throughout Texas. I'd given speeches. I'd held meet and greet events. Like I literally went from one day waking up and saying, I'm going to run for governor, to within 2 to 3 weeks, having a full-blown campaign. I built out a website from scratch. Like I just woke up one day and I was like, let's go. Like I'm tired of mediocre I'm just gonna say it, mediocre white men getting handed these political platforms, and I'm like, they're not doing anything. And in 3 weeks, I did more than they themselves are doing on these campaigns. So
Yes.
my time be there.
That is
Why did
awesome.
you decide governor? Like what, instead of like House representative or
Even city
So this-
council.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because I think that's where most of my pushback came from, is people are like, why didn't you start lower?
Like you're
But
going too
really,
high.
when we look, yeah, that's what people are like, why would you go to the top with no government experience? And for me, every level of the government is so important, but really the governor's role is the least important, but with the most power, in a sense. Like, they are truly the advocate for the people of their state. And that's what I do, is I advocate for my people. So I'm like, this is a spot where I can get in and just hit the ground and be like, this is what I'm passionate about. This is the areas that I feel like I can protect. Y'all go do the legislative work. I'm telling you that this is where the people are needing to be protected. And so for me, the governor role was like a perfect fit for me, as opposed to the other ones, which in all honesty have more straightforward impact to the local communities. I was like, I need to go big, help set these policies that are going to support everyone. And then people can make that decision on the smaller level of what works best for them with people that best represent them, if that makes sense.
So 2 things. One, did you have a good support system for all of this?
Like family wise?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
everything.
do actually. Yeah.
It starts like, if I were to
Therapy.
tell my husband that, right?
I did. So I do have a therapist and a psychiatrist. Both were interested in this whole thing. They were like, wow, girl, you good? Like, you taking your meds? I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm regulated. So I'm like, emotionally and, mentally, I had a great support system. But I mean, in my house, it's me, my husband, and my daughter. And I married an amazing man who has always been like a full partner. So we've always been both 100% in. We've taken turns being like the provider and taking care of our daughter. And so for him, he's like, oh, all right, he would love to be the first husband. That's his goal. He's like, hey, you go out, you make the money, bring it home, you save the world, and I'll cheer for you. So when I
I'm down to be a
did
trophy
this,
husband.
See, I have one of those, but he would probably be Melania style. He just would live in his own penthouse somewhere. At least he would have
yeah. To be
everyone-
fair, I don't think my husband would be super helpful in the politics, but he would take care. He's a good dad, so he's like, we'll move into that governor's mansion, and I'll take care of Stella, our daughter Stella. And he's like, and you go be a hero, babe. And I'm like, I'm doing it. So I think I'm just really
Awesome.
lucky and blessed. And then I also live like 15 minutes away from my sister, my uncle, my grandpa, and my parents, who I'm like unhealthily obsessed with. So I'm super lucky. And that is definitely a place of privilege that I come from, in that sense, to have that support system.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was your shout out from Megan. The second part of that was, what group of people did you get the most pushback from when you were running? Like, was it citizens that you would tell that you were doing this and they'd be like, you're crazy? Was it other politicians? Was it higher ups in the government? Like, where did you start to feel the most like pushback?
I think definitely like more establishment Democrats. I think they just kind of didn't take me seriously. Like, I don't know. I mean, I was literally told, if you do this, you will look dumb and it will negatively affect your nonprofit. And it actually, so when I say like I woke up one day and I decided and I built out my website and everything, I did that about 3 weeks before I announced my candidacy. But I took like a week and a half off because they told me that. And I was like, you know what? They're right. Like, if it's going to affect my nonprofit, if it's going to make me like look like I'm not professional, whatever, like maybe they're right. And I should start at precinct chair. That's what they were pushing for. And I just was like, but then again, not this year though, maybe the next year, and then maybe this. And I feel like that's who I got the most pushback from, just because I think that they're worried. I think establishment Dems tend to worry that they're going to alienate the moderate group. but I don't
Yeah.
think there is a moderate group anymore. Like,
I
people
don't
still
either.
say they're moderate. There's no such, like, in this world, you're not moderate.
Mhm.
You're either for people or you're against them, and people will not like that statement. But I think, like, I know I saw Chastity's face kind of it's okay if you disagree with me too. Like, but I just
No,
feel like
I was just thinking that they probably did that because they don't want to be dethroned. They don't want to be defeated by newer
Yeah,
voices.
it's just power. But she's right though. They are so, pretentious and formal and
It's because
and
they're
it's all about
established. I mean,
pomp and
Megan said it.
circumstance and
Yeah.
don't break the rules.
well, and I
But
think they grew up in a lot of them are older women. And so I do think we have to also think about the timeline that they're running in. Like, for them, decorum looks very different, I think, than decorum looks for me.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I don't have an issue like showing up to an event in jeans and a t-shirt and being like, "What's up, everyone? Let's go, Texas 2026." And they're like, and so I
Right.
think we have to remember, like, it's different generations in the way we approach things, but they're the ones who hold the
For
power.
sure.
But I also think they need to realize it's not working clearly.
I
'Cause-
think. I
and we're
think. I think what they.
discovering them in memory care facilities. So that population of politician in Texas is aging themselves out. They're going to last about this much longer, and then it's going to be you and our kids that are going to run this whole thing, and they sound just like you, and they want the same things we do. So all we've got to do is keep this fight up for long enough for that generation to die the hell out, and then we just take our seat.
See,
Take our
I
seat, ladies
actually
and
would
gentlemen.
push back on that a little bit, because I do feel like old people, like, not old people, sorry, the older generation,
You could
I
say
do
it.
feel like they have they do have that knowledge. I feel like we need to find a way to bridge the gap. That's the issue, because it's like they have the money, for one, they have the knowledge, they have the know-how, they have the experience, and we have the fire. So, like, they have to be able to step down from that position and let other people step up, but still be willing to work behind the scenes. And I think that's where the struggle is right now.
Yeah. And I think we saw that with like Joe Biden and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and where you see like the AOCs that are just absolutely being gutted and turned into little Dem robots. I think you're absolutely right. I wish there was a world where those high-level elitist Democrats were willing to share that knowledge. I just worry that we're past it. Which is crazy to me, because they're literally watching the world burn with the policies that they're passing, but they're so stuck in their formality and their routine. I'm afraid that I don't know. I just don't know if I can see like the Nancy Pelosi's and the Cory Bookers and the Hakeem Jeffries going, I'll go ahead and step down. Come here. Let me give you my book of knowledge. I wish, but I don't. You're a lot more optimistic than I am, girlfriend.
No, I agree. I don't think
governor.
I don't think that it's necessarily going to happen easily, but I think we have to figure out a way to bridge that gap. And that's why we're stuck, is because we can't figure out how to connect the two generations within the Democratic Party.
Yeah. I just look at like a James Tallarico. If that young man cannot bridge that gap, and he can't. If he can't do it, I feel like this generation of voters, this electorate is so different. I think they're just going to smell the BS immediately, and they're going to go for James instead of, Greg.
Hopefully.
I
So,
hope so.
you have a question? Were you going to say something?
No.
Oh.
Sorry.
I thought you were
Feel
trying
free to cut me off, because I tend to
Seriously,
steamroll. I'm a
me
yapper.
too. I've been waiting to talk to you for like 3 weeks. I'm so excited to have you in front of us. You cannot understand. I have been so excited to talk to you.
Well, thank you.
Just put your mouse over Jen and just click the mute button. Like
Seriously, because I won't stop. I'm a nervous talker.
it's okay.
Go ahead, you got it.
I'm just teasing you. So you covered how you got into it, and kind of what you did to start. So can you kind of like, is that everything that you did to start? Like, you just ChatGPT'd it, made yourself a website? Like, so did you have a team?
No. So I didn't have a team until about the last week, which is what really sucks about me having to step down, is in that last week, we got a campaign manager, we got a director of communications, we started organizing and mobilizing volunteers. And then that last week, I was like, wow, like I felt like that was the tipping point into solidity of the campaign. And unfortunately, that's kind of like where it got kneecapped. But to begin it, yeah, it was really like the literal definition of bootstrapping it. Like I Googled how to do it. I went on ChatGPT, I used YouTube videos, and it was really simple to register because the official filing forms for the positions that you're running for are not actually due till December. So right now you're basically filing with the intent to run a campaign. So I was able to file, it was just like one page. It was crazy. It was like one page, you just typed in like 3 things. And then I opened up a bank account and I got an EIN number, which takes about 20 minutes on the IRS government website. And that's it. Everything else obviously took time, the website building, all of that. And I am one of those kind of people who's just like, if I don't know how to do something, I'll figure it out. Or like, I trust myself more than I trust most people. And I'm like, I'm going to be able to get this done. I'm not going to pay someone else. And I'm cheap. So I'm like, I'm not going to pay someone to do this when I could do it myself. So I've built websites for my nonprofit and everything before. So I just kind of jumped right in. And I think, like I said, within a week of me deciding to do it, I had already, in the eyes of the government, started my campaign, and I had already kind of built out my individual infrastructure.
Too late to turn back now type of situation?
Exactly, yeah.
How did you acquire the team? How did you know where you were going to speak at?
It was super organic. I think literally it was so Tyler was his name's Tyler Potter. He was my amazing campaign manager that we like formalized our team, like I said, at the end. But he commented on one of my TikToks, one of the first TikToks I made. And then he was just like a hype man in the chat. He started DMing me. He was like, hey, I've had some campaign experience before. Like, would you want to chat? And that's really how I got that's how I got the director of communications. It was really grassroots, just people really reaching out to me and being like, hey, I've worked on this before. How can I help you? And we just kind of figured out where people worked and how to leverage them. And once me and Tyler built that connection, I was like, all right, let's go. He had never run a full statewide campaign before. I had never run any campaign outside of ASB treasurer in junior year. So I was like, I love a good underdog. Let's do it. And so we kind of jumped in. And then Christian from Next Gen Politics messaged me as well and was like, hey, I'd love to be your director of communication. And I was like, join the team. So it was very organic.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
No, buddy. Okay. I don't want to like keep jumping in and asking all of these questions. So what about so you had that campaign manager that was finding like all of the places to speak and all of the things for you. What about finances stuff? How did you, because you still have to have money to like your gas money and food money, and do these people, are they just volunteers? Do you actually pay them if they're on your team? Where does that money come from? Hotels, things like that.
So my campaign in total raised $500 because I didn't start doing a donation push. I was like, now that we've got our team, we'll roll out that donation push in August. But it actually ended up going okay because I am glad I didn't take a lot of money from people and then not be able to fulfill my promises to them. So that $500, I think it ended up being like $425 total. Paid for the gas and the hotels to go speak and do that kind of like initial launching. But that was all also me as well. So I did all the finding of the activities. Well, Nick also was actually a really big help to me too. Nick Pappas, he messaged me initially. Yeah, he messaged me initially when he saw I was running, and he kind of just like little sistered me and started inviting me to things, and that helped as well. So just kind of having someone who'd already been on the ground for a little bit be like, hey, come here, like I got you. And so after he introduced me to a few people, it really like opened the door to more events. Nick was the original campaign manager for me, I think.
Oh my gosh. See, I liked Nick before. Now I like him even more.
I think
What a
he even
sweetheart.
told me that, actually. I think he said, I'm going to be your campaign manager until you find a campaign manager. So I was like, all right, bro, let's go. Like, I love a good collaboration. So we were in it together.
So, question, do you feel comfortable telling us why you ended your campaign?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty not exciting. I went back to work because I'm a teacher. So I went back from the summer and we were doing back to school training, and I was just informed that it is company policy that we cannot engage in any lobbying or campaigning. And it was pretty cut and dry. And that, I mean, there was no, I think it literally said in the handbook that we had to read, it said right there, you know, no campaigning or lobbying. And I was like, got it. So that just kind of killed it where it was. There was no gray area in it. And unfortunately, because of the way that we tie medical insurance to our employment as someone with a special needs child, I can't just I can't walk away from my insurance. Some people were like telling me when I announced that I was having to leave, they're like, we should pressure your work and we should do this. And I was like, please don't, because my daughter's medical insurance will go away. And her therapies are billed at like $350 an hour. And I'm like, we can't pay that out of pocket. So it sucks, but I think that I'm just going to find other routes to channel advocacy through and find ways to do what I can for the community without also risking my daughter's medical needs.
How did they find out, or was it just like HR that came out and told you something?
Yeah, so I can't like talk about it too much.
Oh, okay, that's
but
fine.
It was
Sorry.
Basically, I was just reminded that.
Got you.
Yeah. Like, oh.
Yeah, that's.
Did you forget? And I was like, oh, didn't know.
Hey, we see you making a lot of moves out there.
Yeah. It was interesting. So I'm like, I can't get too into it because I do like my job. I do want to keep my job. Don't love that policy, but there's things you love and hate about every job, and that's
you work for a public school or a private school?
If I could actually,
I guess my question. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase.
No, you're okay.
Is it Texas's policy, or is it like the policy for the individual?
So I work for a public school that is owned by a private organization, and so it is not the public school that I work for. Is
the independent school
district. It's the organization that funds it. So that's why it's a little bit different. Because if I was just like a run-of-the-mill public school teacher, like in an ISD, I could run. But because we have like an overarching company, I don't even know honestly how to explain it. I've tried so many times. I'm like, I don't know.
I was just wondering if it was like a Texas law or something that.
No, yeah, because I think that's illegal for the state to like tell you that you can't like practice your civic duties, so or your civic rights. But for a private company, it's different. So I'm a public school teacher, but I'm paid by a private company.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
there's so many people watching right now that are like, I know exactly where she works.
Jen's
like, might work there too.
Jen's just ready to move on to the next.
I know, please, I want to get her fired.
Let's get her out of this.
Like that's why I'm like, no, nothing. Like, I love you guys. If anyone's out there watching, like, I really like my job. It's great.
I love America. Would you do this again? Like later on, like would you consider running again?
Yeah, definitely. I think I was so surprised at like the groundswell of immediate support that I got. And it sounds like people are gonna be like, oh, your gender, whatever. Like, I really think because I'm a woman that I got a lot of support like immediately. And I think that people were really a lot of the comments that I got and a lot of the responses from meeting people were like, I'm so excited to see a woman running, and we need more like compassion in the White House and all of this, or not the White House, sorry, the governor's house.
Governor's mansion.
Oh, I think you guys froze.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I can hear
Can you
you.
hear us?
Oh wait, no, I can hear you. Yeah, it's just some of your screens are going
Oh,
away, but that's
A little
okay.
laggy.
It might just be me. Yeah,
No, might just be your internet.
I forgot what I was saying.
I
Sorry,
do have some other
but yes, I'd
questions
be
for you.
interested in running again.
You were talking
So
about how people were saying that they were excited because you're a woman, and that's interesting that you said that because I was actually having a conversation with Chastity about that last week. That I think I don't know what it is, but it feels like people just are really excited to get a woman, but they want the right woman. They want somebody that
Mhm.
that isn't the same old establishment, people that you encountered. But yeah, I feel that too. I definitely feel that kind of sentiment in the air. People are just ready to get
Yeah, it feels
behind
like this.
anybody.
We're really craving, I think, like feminine energy in the White House, like and not necessarily from a woman, but just like a softer energy. And I think we are seeing that in a lot of the candidates that are big right now. Even like James Tallarico, he's so
Gentle.
soft in his presentation, and it's very soothing and calming. And it's like I think we're ready to just be chilled out. Like I'm tired of trauma and like fear and all this stuff every day. And I think that's what people are really wanting is safety and security in their lives every day. And that's not what we're getting. So I think people tend to associate that kind of like security blanket with women. And whatever, I'll take it if that's me.
Yeah,
like Vinny will be
I
power.
I think empathy gets confused a lot with like weakness,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah.
That's something that I've learned recently, that it's like, okay, it's not, we don't have to always be this aggressive all the damn time, with our policies and our even our rhetoric or our conversations. But it's like these days everybody is just so high strung, so now everybody has a freaking mental disorder.
Yeah. We all have anxiety.
Yeah, we
We're
all
running
are. It's
around
like a
moms
powder
really
keg.
fucking
We're all like so stressed all the time. And I think
Yeah.
that is so apparent in
Mhm.
any time we're talking to anyone that doesn't have the same opinion as us.
Yeah.
We're so quick to fight because we're all played against each other
Mhm.
so constantly. So it's like
Yeah.
when I'm seeing someone who has a different opinion than me, my brain is immediately telling me, not like, oh, they have a different opinion, but my brain's like, this is an enemy. Like we are being conditioned to think
Mhm.
that this person is an enemy. And how do we live like that? We don't. We just are
Yeah.
all in a constant state of anxiety and just like tenseness. Like I don't want to just feel like I'm trying to fight 24/7.
Mhm. For
I
sure.
wasn't made for that life.
Like, I have a brother-in-law who is, I love
watching
him so
probably.
much. I'm not going to say his name. He is very, very MAGA. And up until about 2 weeks ago, we would have like little spats at family events, but we didn't really debate and engage. And a couple of weeks ago, he started watching my TikTok videos and texting me. And then he started watching the podcast and texting me questions during the podcasts. And a lot of it was baity. Like he was definitely just trying to see how far he could push me. But over the last few weeks, like I've made little kind of moments of headway. And I feel like if this human who is so devoted to the homunculus in chief can be swayed on any one topic, there's hope. Like we can talk to people and we can have these conversations. And I'm not saying that we should just go and have beers, okay, like certain very famous progressive YouTube hosts of other shows want to go have beers with everybody. We don't have beers with certain individuals, sir, okay? But I think that we can find common ground and be able to, we've just been kicking each other's asses for so long. And I think we're finally like looking at each other going, what the hell? Wait a minute. What are you like? We're finally starting to look up.
Yeah.
And I think that it doesn't matter what party you're affiliated with, as long as you don't believe that there's no way that Trump is in the Epstein files, you can be convinced. You can be swayed. Like we have so much, I don't want to like sound like a politician, but we really do have so much more in common than what separates us. And I think it's just kind of finding that niche and finding the common ground so that you can start there.
I don't remember. I don't remember reading your thing, but I wanted to know if you were running. Were you running as a Democrat or Republican?
Yes.
Independent?
So I probably would have run honestly as an independent. I mean, I've always been registered Democrat, like, or in California, we register our parties. So I've always been registered Democrat, and I've always voted Democrat, but I don't love the idea of the Democratic Party. And again, that establishment democracy, the established democracy or Democratic Party we've got right now. So I probably would have ran as an independent if it wasn't so impossible to run as an independent. You have to get 1% of the votes in your county. And for Harris County, it's like 88,000 votes or something crazy. Or like to be governor, you have to get 88,000 signatures. They can't be from people who, not votes. Yeah, sorry, rewrite that. You have to have 88,000 signatures if you're going to run as an independent. And they can't be, my dog is acting like it's dying because I'm not letting it in the room right now. So sorry if you see me looking away. But yeah, so you need 88,000 signatures, and they can't be from people who have voted in the primaries, and you only have between the window of the primary. It's crazy. And you're like, how? And they have to be registered voters, plus all of the signatures can be debated basically, and they can deny it if it's like the signature isn't legible, or it's almost impossible to get to that point. And then once you're in that point, you're not still taking seriously, because we don't take third party candidates seriously. So I was like, I'm gonna run as a Democrat because that's what I am, and I'll just be a progressive Democrat.
Thank you.
What was your push with the Republicans? Did you have like
no
pushback?
Weirdly enough, so the only real pushback I got, I thought it was hilarious, is it would be like out of 100 comments, 99 of them would be like, love this, this is what we need. And then there'd be one person who'd be like, fat. And I thought it was so funny because I'm just like,
is that a man?
I did. It's always a man. Well, there was one. It's either a man or a bot, to be fair. And I'm like, you literally realize I'm speaking to a crowd about how I want to make sure that we are funding caregivers and protecting public education, and your answer is fat. I'm just like,
I wish that was all that I got.
I was surprised that that's all I got, because I was like, that's not that bad. But I think it would have been different once we passed the primaries. I think if I had won and I had entered that Republican space, it would have been much darker. And I was really anxious for that, especially having a daughter with special needs. I think I was really mentally having to prepare for that and like what that would look like. Which is horrible and like really sad that I'm like, oh, I have to get ready to hear every time I would open up my comments and it would say like 20 comments like filtered, and I would open them up to read it, and every single time my heart would be like, they're gonna say something about my daughter, and no one ever did, luckily. But like, you can call me fat all day long, like I don't care, I like to eat, but like don't insult my daughter. And so for me that was like this terrifying thing. But I think it would have got a lot uglier if I had won the primaries and stuck around.
Man, it's such a shame that you can't. Oh God, I just wanted to vote for you so bad.
I did too.
So here's the thing, guys. We are not supposed to be biased. We are not supposed to have any partisan opinions. We are supposed to be open-minded with every candidate we talk to. But I have been researching Megan like a crazy fangirl, and I'm telling you, like, I would have voted for you, girl.
Thank you. I thought it was really interesting, though, that the only negative comments I did get outside of body shaming was people, they weren't even necessarily like negative. It was more like I was getting a lot of questioning about why I thought that I was, why do you think you can do this when you have no political experience? But I felt like it was also really interesting that when I would go on any of my male counterparts' comments, none of them were getting questioned on the validity of them running. Like, they had other beefs with them, they have their own issues, but no one really was attacking them for not having political experience.
For their job experience?
Yeah,
nobody
exactly.
was commenting on their job experience?
And that's what
I wonder why.
I was confused, because I was like, you guys realize I've actually been working in public ed and within the systems of public education. Like I said, I've worked all the way at the state level. I know how the public education system runs. And if people can run an entire campaign based on hate or immigration, why can't I run an entire campaign where my main focus is public education and caregiving rights and expanding Medicare? It doesn't make sense to me. For some reason, that's villainized, but it's totally cool to run a one, I'm only running on anti-abortion. I'm only running on anti-immigration, but I can't run on pro-public education. It's not making sense.
Well, I think too, in this country, like on one hand, we are our own worst enemies because we look at politics as a whole and we say, we hate it. We don't want it to be like this anymore. But then when somebody who has no experience tries to jump in, we immediately try to rip their faces off and go, you don't belong here. Between the money and the corporate interests that are involved, like all of the old school establishment politicians that have so many tentacles in the game, it's hard. But I think that we as a population, as an electorate, number one, we need to educate ourselves on how government works so that we understand that, number one, politics should not be a career. We shouldn't be looking to these people who make their entire lives ruling over us. We should be looking to people who want to get in, make positive changes, and then move on for the next person to take that position. We can't. We are the worst about this. Like, we are our own worst enemies when it comes to the turnover that's necessary in government for democracy to continue to work.
When I published my platform, I don't know if y'all got a chance to look at it, but it's like super detailed, exactly where I would get funding from everything. And my husband was like, are you worried someone's going to steal your platform? And I was like, oh no, and do all the changes that I wanted without me having to do the work. Like, that's the dream. Like, please steal the platform, use it, you do the work, and make the world a better place. Like, I don't want to do the work.
Doing nothing.
I'm like,
and that's another thing too, is we're so hyper focused on getting credit.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't matter who gets credit as long as it gets done. And that includes for the opposite party. When Republicans do something that works and helps us, we need to give them their flowers and not be so fast to say, well, it doesn't matter because they're Republican. That's the tribalism that we've got to stop. Like this two-party crap where you can't give the opposite party credit for something wonderful is why we are so divided. Like, we've got to get better about that.
It's giving like the Montagues and the Capulets and like very like Jets and Sharks. I'm like, come on, guys.
The
like,
progressives were just down here like, please stop fighting.
We sound like a bunch of hippies. Stop fighting.
Just stop the fighting.
But the reality is, though, I mean, and people have got to, I've really been pushing this with my content lately, is like, this is what they want from you. This is your escalation and allegiance to a party or to a color or to an ideal is what they want. They've been pushing this entire, they always have. That's what politics is built on, is your allegiance to be a stupid sheep. And if you can't see outside of the box and realize that some things are right and some things are wrong, and not every issue you're going to agree on, but some things you can kind of be like, that's okay. There's a lot of things that are happening right now that we all know are not okay.
Yeah.
Come hell or high water, it doesn't matter if you're a Christian, doesn't matter if you're not a Christian, doesn't matter what religion that you are, it doesn't matter where you came from in life. You know the difference between right and wrong. Everybody does. And so we are no longer, on my soapbox, we are no longer in the position to say something's left or right or Republican or Democrat. This is a right or wrong situation, and you have got to vote based off of issues and stop voting based off of parties. It does not work.
It's just driven everybody to extremes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I always just say, like, you're either pro-human or you're not. Like, those are your two categories. So when you're looking at policies, it's not who wrote it or any of like who's it going to benefit. It's, is this like pro-humanity or is it not? And when you break it down into that, it's very simple. Is giving tax cuts to billionaires while taking away funding from people who need Medicaid and people who are on SNAP and welfare, is that pro-human? No. Okay, then let's get rid of it. Like that, it really is that simple, but they wrap politics up in this blanket of obscurity and they make it so hard for people to get into it and see what it is.
It becomes their identity.
Exactly. Yeah. And people just get turned off by it.
Mhm.
And they say, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to do anything. Nothing matters. And like you said, that's the goal. That's the goal, is the people who are going to be crazy, they want them. The people who are going to quit, they want them to quit. And then the chips fall. We can't have that, though. We have to be pro-human on our policies. It's that simple.
Yeah. I mean, that blind loyalty is intense, dude. And I find it's definitely both sides, but like I at one point in my life was a Republican, and I feel like we are taught to be so much more loyal to our elected officials, like unquestioningly. And so like even up to the moment of that debate, and if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And even in that moment, I'm like, he's okay. Like, just he's getting warmed up. Maybe he's just tired, you know? And for a split second, like, you can make those excuses in that blind loyalty and convince yourself that this is not an elderly man who's clearly up way past his bedtime, over medicated, and has some stuff going on. And it takes a minute to break yourself out of that. Like, I don't know. I think pop culture and media has definitely turned our elected officials into celebrities, and it's been harder to break that, but we need to.
Yeah,
because he was definitely not okay, y'all. It's not okay.
Well, and the whole thing with it being a celebrity, it should be. I mean, I disagree. I think that they should be celebrities. I think that everybody should be talking about what you're saying, what you're doing. That's the only way that you can be educated in anything these days. Is we have social media only. We don't watch, you're not watching TV with commercials anymore. So paying for these commercials that they pay for, that the older people are paying for, is null and void. But for the younger people, the younger voters, to know specifically, like to actually watch a clip of what actually happened and get other people's opinions, informed people's opinions, that's where we're getting all of this information from. So I do think that them being celebrities and in the public eye is beneficial to us.
So that part is, when I say celebrity, I don't mean like in the context of in the public eye, everything being recorded, every word fact checkable. What I'm talking about is the way that we idolize elected officials, the way that you can become so indoctrinated that you can convince yourself that these people are not demented, that they are not dangerous, that they are not racist, that they are not making policy against you. And I think that's what we need to break ourselves out of. But because the media has turned them into WWE characters as opposed to legislators, we almost ignore the policy flaws in order to lap up the celebrity, like Hulk Hogan BS. And I think that's something that definitely needs to change.
Talarico had
everything should be out there.
Talarico had said something about how people have a tendency to turn certain politicians into like messianic figures. He was talking like Bernie Sanders and even like AOC. Like people see these people and they think that they're just some kind of a savior. The kind of the exact same way that people do with Trump. And I think having that kind of idea or outlook towards somebody is dangerous, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. So I think that's also what like drives towards that extremism for both parties or for every ideology. But for sure, like turning these people into idols, it's silly.
You go from them being public servants to now being somebody that you want to worship. And I think even you guys know when I call James Talarico a sweet baby angel, I know he's a flawed human, right? Like you guys, we all know that. Okay.
That's so funny. I call people sweet baby angels all the time. I didn't know other people did that. I'm like, I'm a sweet baby angel.
He's a sweet baby angel, and I just love him so much. And Jasmine Crockett, and like, I can do it too. Like I have, if I could have trading cards of my favorite politicians, it would be crazy, but I would, but at the same time, I think that we have to get in a better habit of calling out their flaws and bad decisions, even when they're on our team. And that is just, it's not happening on both sides. Speaking of which, guys, real quick, before we go any further, I just want to say to the Texas Democrats who have broken quorum and are defending our vote and refusing to go back and allow this map to be shoved down our throats. Thank you. Hold the damn line. We love you. We've got your backs.
Yes,
Sorry.
Texas supports you for sure. I think one of the things that one of the best lessons I've ever learned in my life is when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And we definitely, I think this is a very female problem, but I also think it's a male problem as well. It's this yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir Texas thing. It's a woman who allows, a homeless person to get too close to her before she says back the fuck up. It's not wanting to hurt people's feelings, and so you give people the benefit of the doubt of maybe like treat people the way you want to be treated. It's just in this way that we were raised. It was ingrained in us to give somebody another chance, and I disagree with that. Every person that has ever shown me who they were, at some point I started, you show me who you are, and I believe that you are who you say you are. Yeah. And that's a very hard lesson to learn when you get screwed over so many times, but that's something that people just really need to learn is, Cory Booker, perfect example, right?
Oh, God.
Perfect example of
that was
showing
one for me.
Soul crushing.
It was definitely like, it felt very defeating, I think, for a lot of people. That was, that was a sad one for me.
I felt like I don't even have words. Like, it made that 27-hour
Yeah, it was like, well, that was a waste.
Pointless. Pointless. Like, you were just creating clips for your campaign ads, dude. And
so you could be in a history book.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There's so much political theater. And I think,
for sure.
I really think when you look at like regular everyday people, we are on a completely different world than the people that are in office. And the point of office is to have fair representation. So like, I don't know what's going on, but like, they don't know what life I live, and they don't know what a normal person's life is, the majority of them. Yes, so it's like, how are you, and we see it in the policies that they pass, and we see who they're really serving. We've been seeing it in town halls. They're not serving the people because they don't know who the people are. They're
and
not
they straight up ignore them too. They ignore them. They mock them.
Laugh at you.
They fucking laugh at you. God damn.
Hearing yesterday, Senator Charles Perry, ladies and gentlemen, Senator Charles Perry looked at his constituents and said, I don't care what you have to say about these maps. Daddy needs 5 more votes and Texas should be a red state. So I'm pushing this map through. Guys, I'm a progressive. I am not a Republican. I live in Texas and I deserve representation. Period. So at the end of the day, anything else is moot point. Every single voter in this country deserves to have their voice heard. I don't know how we're going to fix this stuff, but on one hand, I'm excited about the way the blue states are responding. On the other hand, Chas, the more I thought about what we talked about earlier, the more concerned I am about that. Like, the kids could start fighting so bad that mom and dad are finally like, you know what? Okay, nobody gets to play. And the Supreme Court steps in and says, since you guys can't figure this crap out, we're just not going to have elections for a little while. And I hope that it doesn't come to that, because I think Democrats need to be fighting hard right now. And I think that we need to be pulling punches that we've never pulled before. And I think that we need to be engaging in ways that we've never engaged before. But I'm worried. You guys.
That not only Democrats need to be pulling punches, I think Republicans need to step up to the plate. We need representatives to stand up.
Exactly.
Not just protect your own people. Like, you are the most effective, like in the classroom. Obviously, I know the classroom is not the state of Texas, but in the classroom, the most effective form of classroom management is the students trust you. They know you're on their team, and so they police each other. Like, they keep each other in line, they keep each other in check, and they keep you as the teacher in check. Yeah. And that is what should be happening on a larger scale. We should trust the people representing us, but we should also have an understanding that we can check them, and they should know that we are disappointed in them, that we don't like what they're doing, and they should have to answer accordingly. If a student tells me like I'm being rude to them, then I'm like, dang, you're right, I was being rude, I'm sorry. We don't see that from our elected officials.
No,
they're like,
no.
you don't matter to me. And I'm like, what do you mean I don't matter? That's literally your job. You're getting paid to represent you. It's crazy.
People
Oh, yeah,
people
no,
seem
yeah.
to forget
You primary them.
Yes.
You
Sorry, what
primary
was
them.
No, I was saying people kind of seem to forget like the difference between a democracy and a republic, because like we say a lot, you know, we're losing our democracy, but then they always have that idiot that says, well, we're not a democracy, we're a republic. Okay, well, what the fuck is a republic?
We are a democratic republic.
So like, what is a republic? Like, we elected these people to represent us and they're not listening. Now what? Like, what is that now? We don't elect dictators. We elect representatives.
Right.
Well, I think we did elect that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no.
We
Yeah.
did this
Really.
time, y'all.
We elected a lot of days.
That's what, listen, y'all, we can talk all the crap we want about this president, but he has kept his promises made, promises kept. Dictator on day one. Dictator on day one. He's kept his promises. I'm not mad, y'all. I'm not mad.
I mean, I think that, I mean, I really don't, the only way to start change is to do what Megan did and to stand up and do what we're doing, right? Use your platform, use your voice, and ignite change. Make sure that you're showing up, that your voice is being heard, that you're emailing, that you're calling, that you're making yourself big and loud, because that's the only way that change is going to happen. They're not afraid of you when you're quiet and small. Perfect example would have been the Senate committee hearing on redistricting the other day, right? Mm-hmm. In that Senate committee hearing, who was the chair? You guys?
The suit?
No, that was the House hearing.
Oh, the one today. I forgot his name.
Or
was it yesterday?
House hearing.
Okay, so Senate hearing yesterday. He comes in and he's big and bold and I'm a badass and this is what I'm going to do. This is my goal. I'm going to gerrymander this district based off of, what is it? What did he say? My goal here is to make sure that we get 5 new representatives, 5 new Republican representatives.
Because Texas is a Republican state.
We are not, because Texas is a Republican state. This is not over race. This is not racial gerrymandering. It's partisan gerrymandering, which is also illegal, by the way, guys. But when Texans showed up and spoke out, and you heard a whole lot of revolution going on in those voices, there was a whole lot of threats of revolt.
Yeah.
And by the end of that, he was very small. He was very timid. He was very defeated. Senator King is who Claire says it was.
He was like, well, I still wanna do this, but I don't know.
Yeah,
it was King.
He was very defeated. He understood that nobody was standing for this shit.
Yeah.
Now, last week in the House meeting with the House testimony, they didn't give no shits. They're a little bit tougher. They're tougher skinned. Them old ass senators are not used to being talked down to, and he was very defeated. Go in there with fire in your fucking pants, man, and you tell them exactly what you think. Do not hold back. You can be respectful and still be fucking direct.
Yep.
Or you
Call them
cannot.
on the phone, respectful, and still
Or
be
you
direct.
cannot, yeah. But
honestly, I view that as like, that's your megaphone right there. Like, it doesn't matter. For me, I'm like, I don't even care if you're talking about redistricting, because this whole thing is a sham anyway.
Yep,
so
for
use
sure.
this moment, say what you want to say. Like, I had written my speech for the House redistricting. I didn't even get to give it because I sat for 6 hours, and then it was a whole thing. But and I was gonna read a poem because I'm an English teacher. I was gonna read a poem from Langston Hughes, "Let America Be America Again." And then I literally had written in my little speech, it was like, this is not a real event. This is, you don't care. So instead of actually doing this, I'm gonna read this poem to you because it was written in God, 1928 something, and it's still literally so applicable today. And I was like, I'm gonna English teacher, you guys. Like, use that time. You don't have to be polished. You don't have to be perfect. Like, this is, again, they work for you. That's your 2 minutes that you get. Say what you want to say.
Open
And then they
mic
try
night.
to and then they try to bring you back. Like if you start like attacking the representatives, you could just say, "Well, I'm getting to that. I'll get there."
I've seen Law and Order. I know how this works. But objection withheld. No, dang it. I don't know what it's like. Never mind.
And did you actually watch that, Megan?
Which part?
The Senate hearing the other day?
I didn't see the Senate ones, no.
Okay.
Did you see the House one?
I went to the House one in Houston.
Okay, so the one in Austin, there's this man, this MAGA man. We call him Ultra MAGA because he always wears this big red hat or baseball hat that says Ultra MAGA on it. And he's like a preacher or something, or he says he's an evangelist of some sort, whatever. Big. I hate
those dudes. that
Look,
sit in
I
the
know
meeting with
exactly
the
who he is and
Confederate
where he
flag and tries
lives.
to get you to vote for Trump.
He lives in his van
Very
outside of the
passionate about
Capitol.
This man.
No, he
So we're
doesn't.
Yes, he
Yeah.
does. Yes, he does. He's there every day.
So he's this old man on a walker. He's got a Confederate flag on one side of his walker. He's got a Texas flag and a United States flag on the other side of his walker. He goes into both hearings. So the first hearing he goes into, they had thrown somebody out previously because they had held up a sign that had like numbers on it. I don't remember what the numbers were.
It was like the number of registered Democrats and registered Republicans, and they were kind of like, almost the same or something like that. I forget, but it was just a sign that had
I've seen it like going
numbers.
around. It says like 8 million vote,
Yeah.
8 million like Democrat voters, 6 million Republican voters.
Yeah. So they just hold the sign up, and then somebody screams at them. Chairman Basut's like, "No, we're no signs in here. Get them out of here!" And like has the security come and pick them up, get them out. And this man walks in, and he's got his flags on his walker, and walks up to the front.
Confederate flags.
Yes,
Confederate flags.
walks up to the thing to testify, and is very, very racist the entire time that he's talking. And one of the other House rep says I can't remember her name either. I really need to get good at people's names.
Honestly, there's like 8 million of them. Like, I think that's such a turnoff for people too, because they're like, I'm gonna look dumb if I don't know everyone. Yeah. And I'm like, there's so many people, like, we don't need to know.
All I know is Democrat, Republican.
Yeah.
hate you. You're cool. Hate you.
Okay, who said this? Who said this? Okay, nobody said it. All right.
We need like the little thing like on The Bachelor where it just pops up as they talk, like with their name, their age, their like little roles.
So she says, you kicked somebody out for a sign, but you're allowing him to have his flags. Yeah. And they allowed it. So Senate hearing comes up the other day. Same thing. Walks up there. The lady that is sitting next to him is very, very nice to him. She's there to testify against the bill. She's very nice to him when he walks up there. She's like, do you want me to move the chair? Like, how do I help you? Because he's in a walker, right? Mm-hmm. And he's a little obese. And so like the chair's not obviously going to fit him. And so she gets the chair out of the way. She's super nice to him. He testifies and says, take all their rights away. Colored people should not have any rights to vote. This woman, take her rights away. She's a woman. She doesn't need any rights. And the whole thing breaks. Everybody, she like, excuse you? And she like pushes the chair really hard from between them, gets up, walks out. Dems are chasing her, like, we're gonna help, like, what's going on?
That was so much more exciting than the House session. What?
Girl, you gotta watch it all of the time. I watch it all the time. It's like watching my stories. It's so good. It's so good. I'm like, I just might sit there and like watch it and find content all day long.
Characters now. You're like, ooh, Ultra MAGA's coming
on.
Yeah, but yeah, that is their base. That was my point. This is the base for the GOP. Is this specific man right here? This specific, very racist, very misogynist,
claims to be an evangelist.
Man. Privileged white evangelist. That is their base, and that's who they're happy to retain. Simi with the with the pig. Stop. Do not hear her talking. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. She wants up in my lap, and I won't let her up here because she's 130 pounds, and now
Did
she
you
wants
say
to
it's
play
a
with
pig?
me. She's got this like honking pig. It's like a toy. She's a dog.
Oh, I thought you had a pig. I was very
Yeah.
excited. I'm like,
She's
bring
a-
the pig on.
I was hearing it. I was like, did Chaz get a pig? I thought she had dogs. What's happening?
No, it's that stupid pig toy.
The
Stupid Dollar General pig toy. Honks and honks. I'm so sorry. And I can ignore it for a long time until I start getting overwhelmed. Like
I'm aware of
just
it.
got a little overstimulated. What the fucking pig? I'm so sorry. But that was my point, was that Ultra-Mega-Man is their base that they're trying to retain. And so when in the Senate hearing, all of these people go up there and they're like, they're crying, they're scared, they're upset, and they should be. They're violated.
Mm-hmm.
And they're testifying and they're very passionate. And then you get Ultra-Mega-Man come up here and that's your base. That's who you're trying to retain. I think that they got to actually see the difference between human beings and indoctrinated cult members.
Psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were very ashamed. I think Senator King was very ashamed at the end of that. I think that defeated him. And I think that he realized that the base that he retained is not the base that is going to control his next election.
They're disgusting, man. It's crazy.
Ooh, yes.
It's crazy.
So-
I do have to tell you guys, I have to leave in about 15 minutes because my daughter goes to bed at 8 and my office and her room share a wall. So
Yes, ma'am. I was just about to ask you
Yeah,
if you could tell us, number one, where to find you off of this nice little podcast. Where can we find Megan?
yes, so I have 2 accounts and they're both lengthy because why not? My first one is Meagan Advocates, and Meagan is Meagan, and then just Advocates. And then the second one is Love Over Labels Advocacy. Nice and lengthy. And they're on all the major socials.
Fantastic. And also, we would love to have you come back and be our inside the elections voice.
Yes, I love curriculum. So if this is something y'all are like actually, I know we talked about it off camera earlier. If that's something you guys are actually into, I mean,
Definitely.
my passion is curriculum. I got you. I'll write a little how-to curriculum for us.
So Megan wants to teach you guys how to run for office. Stick with us, and we will share her brain with all of you.
Yeah.
Some of it. You don't want all of it.
It should be fixed to be small, like a smaller actual, the GRC collective .com or whatever by next weekend. You can find all of us next weekend at the SB3 party. What is it? SB3 Revolution Party in
Yes.
San Antonio, Texas.
Cannabis Revolution Party at the VFW 76 downtown. That is the oldest post in Texas. The oldest VFW
That's
post
so
in
cool.
Texas. And it's right on the Riverwalk. It's a really nice spot. So if anyone is out there, please come out and have a good time with us.
It's going to be
We'll have our-
Saturday, August 16th from what, 4 to 7?
It starts at 4. Speakers are like at 5 or 6, and then the band's at 8. Yeah, there's a whole itinerary.
So fun. I want to go.
Yeah, come on down.
Might pop down for
Come
the
on
night.
down.
Yeah, come on. We'll have GRC will be there with a podcast. And we've got lots of guest speakers. I think there's like 40 vendors.
Mhm.
They've got bands, live bands.
It's the first event of its
Consumption.
kind at the VFW.
Yeah.
Like
gonna
open
be really
consumption. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be really good.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Anybody got anything else before we sign
Do you have
out?
a closing remark? Anything you want to say to anybody, Megan? To the viewers?
Yeah.
Put her on the spot.
Right. I know. I'm like, let me come up with something. Release the Epstein files.
Yes.
Free Palestine.
Word.
Trans rights are human rights. Stop being racist. It's gross. The end.
Love
about
you.
it.
I think I hit all the major points.
When you get ready to run again, we've got you, and I cannot wait to vote for you. So there's my not unbiased opinion, you guys. I love you.
Do you guys listen to Diary of a CEO podcast?
No.
That's one of my favorite podcasts. At the end of every podcast, every person that I think we should adopt this on our podcast is why I'm saying this. At the end of every episode, whoever they're interviewing, that person leaves a question for the next person, not knowing who it's going to be.
I'm in. Let me think
Okay.
of my question.
It can
what-
be any kind of question.
Oh, any kind
Like,
of question.
literally about anything.
I
I've heard
think
people say
the
that-
next guest we have is gonna be somebody running
No,
for
come on,
something.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
somebody running for
Tell her.
something. He doesn't know who it's going to be. He's just saying that.
What inspires them to get up every morning? And
Ooh.
how do they eat their tacos? Hard shell. Like,
Ooh.
I need the taco composite.
Good one. That's a
Okay,
good
I'm
one.
gonna write this down because those are very, very important.
Very
Critical
important questions. Both key elements.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, ladies. Anybody have anything else?
Nope.
All right, well, we'll end it right there. We'll see. Or do we have anybody on Tuesday? We'll do something on Tuesday anyway. If we don't.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right.
have it.
Yeah,
we'll
no,
have it
next
posted.
week's
We're not
all open,
posting it.
guys.
Okay.
Well, because we're going to San Antonio and we're going to be live all day there. So.
All right, everybody. We'll see y'all later. Have fun. Peace.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Megan.
All right.